everyone, this is Julia from Craft Room Adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to share a treat bag with you that I made for some Christmas festivities that are coming up. First I started out by stamping the little Santa and the Sleigh from Fawn's Oh What Fun mini set onto Bristol smooth cardstock, and I used Versafine Onyx black ink for that. And now I'm just coloring it in with Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. And for the first time, I'm actually using the blender to blend out the color instead of a water brush. And I have to say, I really enjoy it. It's really easy to blend, and I really like it. So I started out by laying down my first color, which is 260 Deep Red. I'm just putting down a first coat of the darker shade of red, and then I'm bringing in Carmine Red number 22 to just give it more of a Christmassy red type of color. I'm using the same colors for the Santa, just laying down the deep red and then blending out with Carmine Red. Off to the side I have a scrap piece of Bristol, and I'm just wiping off the blender on that to make sure it's always clean once I take it back to the paper, so that I can get a nice blend and don't muddle up any of the colors. This is the Carmine Red now, and this just gives it a really nice Christmassy red. Same for the hat. Now for the sleigh, I'm using light beige, which is light brown, number 61. Which is kind of a brassy gold brown, which I thought was really nice to give it like a gold tone for the sleigh. I accidentally used the same color for the bear's face, and I realized it, so I take it up a tiny bit, and then I'm placing down number 72 beige. And that finishes up the coloring. Now I'm going to ink blend my panel for the bag. I die cut the front panel of the Mama Elephant Favor Bag die out of Bristol Smooth Cardstock, and I'm ink blending Tumbled Glass and Salty Ocean Distress ink on top of it. Now it's time to figure out how I want to lay out my images. I also die cut one of the panels of the Favor Bag die using the Lawn Fawn stitched Hillside borders and the little town border. And now I'm just stamping my sentiment from the Lawn Fawn Holiday Helper stamp set, which just says Merry Christmas. And I'm going to heat emboss it in copper. I just used my powder tool, and I inked up my stamp with Versamark ink, and off to the side I'm adding the Ranger Super Fine Embossing Powder in the color copper. And now I'm just heat setting everything. Now it's time to assemble my scene. I added some liquid glue to the bottom of the town border and added it to the panel. I'm adding some foam squares to the back. I wasn't really too careful to place down foam tapes there because it's a favor back that I will just hand out so it won't go through the mail. I'm just removing the backing sheets and placing it on top. Here I'm just removing the backing sheets from the little Santa, but I realized that my background was missing something, so I'm not adhering it quite yet. I realized that the Yeti or Not stamp set also by Lawn Fawn has this little, I don't know, swish stamp that just signifies movement, which I thought was really nice. And I decided to place this behind the sleigh. I'm just using my powder tool again because I wanted to heat emboss this time in white. Again, using Versamark ink. I'm using the Wow embossing powder in white opaque superfine. Off to the side, my heat gun is already heating up. And now I'm just bringing it to the paper until it's smooth and melted. Now I just need to place down my Santa, and that finishes up the front panel for my favor back. Now it's time to assemble the favor back, which is the Mama Elephant favor back die. So I die cut the main part twice out of red cardstock, and now I'm just using my Teflon bone folder to reinforce the score lines. I'm using Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to adhere the back together because I like using liquid glue for projects like this, even though it's a bit more fiddly. But when liquid glue dries, you really can't get it off, so the back will stay nice and secure. And I don't have to worry about it popping open later. Again, reinforcing the fold lines, and I'm gluing the bottom flap together. And now I'm just adding liquid glue to the outside flap and to the inside of one of the panels and to the outside flap of the other one. And I'm just putting them together like puzzle pieces, using my reverse tweezers to hold one side shut and just pressing everything down with my bone folder, turning the back around, doing the same thing on the other, and then taking my bone folder inside the back to also adhere at the bottom. And that finishes up the back. It's really easy to assemble and they're really a lot of fun to make. Now it's time to adhere my panel to the little bag. Again, using Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, I'm just adding it to the front, making sure it's pretty much centered and that it's adhering down well. And this finishes off my project for today. I will have another version of this favor back coming up as a video in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. In the meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel for future crafty videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye!